Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazruddin Muhammad Alwi. My group is going to presenting about the issues of food waste in Malaysia and solution from perspective religions. Before we go to the main issues, let's gain a little bit knowledge about food waste. We all like to eat and enjoy foods. Malaysians are blessed in that is one of the countries with a mixed culture. Malaysians and visitors alike may enjoy a broad range of traditional and modern food and cuisine because to the country's many ethnic groups. Not only that, but one of the major joys of living in Malaysia is that you will never run out of food supplies and you will waste food far less than you should. Food that is appropriate for consumption but is purposefully abandoned during the retail or consumption phase is referred to as waste. Food waste includes plate waste that has been served but not eaten, rotten food, and inedible peels and rings that are fed to animals, composted or anaerobically digested or landfill or combusted with energy recovery. And what we're trying to do here is presenting some of the solution from perspective religion that could help solve the issues which gonna present by Harid and Alif in their discussions.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Sulaiman Nazrul Mubin and I'll continue the presentation by explaining the literature review that we've conducted in order to understand various religious perspectives upon the food waste issue we're facing. We have decided to conduct literature review on myriads of articles. One of the articles that best suited our pursuit of knowledge was an article written by Jimin Kang, published by The Counter in 2018. The article stressed heavily on the religious perspective on food waste issue in the United States. We chose to indulge ourselves to the content of this article as we have decided that the religious beliefs held in the United States are similar to the religious beliefs that are common in Malaysia, which are Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism. To simplify what we've read and digested from the article was that all of these religions seem to agree that wasting food is equivalent to wasting people. A couple of solutions were found stated in the article, which were conducting an initiative to reduce food waste during religious festivals and dedicating the weekend sermon, prayers, and messages to enlighten the public on the food waste issues on hand. The next article we reviewed was written by Suhaila Muhammad Omar et al., which focuses on existing solutions to the food waste issue that were stated in the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. On the other hand, an article written by Alawi Sulaiman et al. Revolves around the idea of a halal biorefinery to counter the food waste issue we're facing by converting halal waste to possible energy, fuels, chemical products, construction materials, high-value food, and cosmetic or medical products. Halal waste is a term used in Alawi's article which referred to waste products that met certain requirements, which mainly decides whether the waste product is pure enough from Islamic perspective to be converted to other products. Through Tim Mora's article, we managed to get a grasp on Christianity's perspective on food waste issue. The article quoted Pope Francis' thoughts, which goes as follows: throwing away food is like stealing from the table of the poor and the hungry. The article also provided lists of easy practices that are recommended by Environmental Protection Agency that would help reduce food waste if practiced by the public. An article written by Aravindan Nilakandan titled "Every Time We Prevent Food from Being Wasted, we perform an act of worship to the Devis," which are Sanskrit for goddess, as Hinduism believes that food heavily correlates to their gods and goddesses. Wasting food is as though disrespecting the devas and devis. Holding strongly to this belief helps reduce the act of wasting food amongst the Hindus. Last but not least, an article written by Gabriel Mendes which discussed on how to utilize Buddhist economics in combating the food waste issue. Example given in his article was changing supermarkets' policies and making changes at individual levels. That is all from me, and I will pass this presentation to my friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Harid bin Muhammad Nazri, and today I will present about analysis and discussion of our topic, which is the issue of food waste management in Malaysia from different perspective of religion. The first discussion that we get is from Islamic perspective. Islam is a religion that prescribes a way of life that is more than just a set of ritual. It offers a comprehensive guidance to human beings in practically every element of life. Modernization and economic development, on the other hand, had tackled it in society governance, polluting certain Muslim society, impression of holistic guidance in Islamic teaching. One of the repercussions was immediately visible in majority of Islamic country attitude and poor food waste management practice, which result in environmental health concern. The report investigates current food waste management practice as well as beneficial role of true Islamic understanding as revealed in Al-Quran and As-Sunnah in terms of avoiding wasteful consumption and maintaining proper hygiene in order to address the global environment health problem caused by poor waste management. To use natural resources for man consumption is permitted as long as there is no wasteful behavior towards nature. Al-Quran in chapter 7 verse 31 said, "Eat and drink, but waste not by excess. For Allah loveth by not the waster." While in chapter 17 verse 26 to 27, the Quran associates the wasteful attitude with ungrateful desire that lead to evil ends and thus command, but squander not in the manner of a spendthrift. Verily, spendthrift are brother of evil ones, and the evil one is to his lot, ungrateful. Islam prohibited wasteful behavior and the culture of exceeding the limit of normally consumption. In the meantime, it promotes the culture of moderation in consumption. The Al-Quran praised the behavior of those who, when they spend, are not extravagant and not niggardly, but whole adjust, which means the balance between those, the extreme that they do. The Al-Quran chapter 25 verse 67. Abu Hurairah the report that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, when one of you eat, he must lick his finger after finishing. That means for he does not know in which of them lies blessing. Sahih Al-Muslim Jami Tirmidhi, to show us not to let go of any part of our food. To add to that, Sayyidina Jabir report that the Prophet Muhammad when one of you eat his meal and of merciful, he must pick up and remove the doubtful portion and eat the rest. He must not leave it for the devil, for verily spendthrift are brother of the shaitan, and the shaitan is to his lot, ungrateful. Quran chapter 7 verse 27. Such is the abhorrence and hatred of wastage in the sight of Allah to the extent that he declared the waster and the spendthrift as the brother of shaitan, who is ever ungrateful to the Lord. Food wastage has an important position in Islamic teaching, as seen by the above mentioned hadith and Al-Quran verse, which encourage cleanliness, sanitary lifestyle, and consumption moderation. Indeed, incorporating the mentioned Islamic value into a sustainable food chain could be an effective and comprehensive solution to the current problem of food waste created by irresponsible attitude and culture displayed by people in many areas of the world. Okay, I will continue with discussion number 2, which is from Buddhism perspective. Buddhism is a long-established religion with stronghold in Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka. These are emerging countries which may lack of infrastructure needed to flourish economically and have higher health concerns, including food insecurity. The Buddhist faith place a higher importance on environmental and food security sustainability. It places a high importance of assisting other, both human and animal. We may use Buddhist economic concept to address the problem of food waste by understanding the connection of human and the nature, while still striving for economic efficiency and equality. When we throw out such large amount of food, we are not only damaging the nature by over-farming and preventing the food from decomposing correctly, but we are also robbing those in need of sufficient nutrient. Buddhist position outlook on life are cognitive restructuring, such as religion practice, can help alleviate the stress of food insecurities. The Buddhist practice, the dana, encourage wealthy people to donate meal to the improvised without accepting anything in return, which means when you give to other people, you are not accept to get any return from that people. Buddhist monks are also fed by a charitable donation, allowing by families to send their children to live in urban Buddhist temple for free lodging and board while they are attend school. Parents can use this strategy to ensure that their children receive good nourishment and education, while will improve the possibilities. Then they can observe in their self-reliance matriarchal grief economy, which means the property passed down through the woman, the dana, and the equal access to resources in proper part of the country. The Buddhism also eat meal in Aryoki style in Zen and many Buddhism retreats. It means taking just enough food. Aryoki harmonious body, mind, by incorporating mindfulness into their eating habit. Perhaps they are suggest that as human family we can learn to eat how anarchy style together.
Hey, my name is Muhammad Alif Amirul Rizwan, and today I would like to present to you about the issues of food waste from Christian perspective in Malaysia. So, food waste reduction has spiritual and ethical consequences for Christians in particular. Why? Because in addition to urging us to be excellent stewards of our wealth, Scripture also encourages us to live life of appreciation and humility. In Christian religion perspective, they knowingly abandon God's gift of supply when they waste food, and they value the work of the farmers and laborers who fill our cupboards. They restore dignity, respect, and gratitude to the cycle of production and consumption by minimizing the quantity of food we waste. Food waste is a symptom of an out-of-control consumer culture. Food waste reduction is an act of defense against consumerism and a appropriate choice for a simpler, more deliberate way of life when done for the correct reasons. God disapproves of mankind's waste and misuse of the resources He has provided. Next, I would like to talk about the issues of food waste from Hindu's perspective in Malaysia. And so, Hindu believes on the state of food, food is God, according to Anand Brahma. This concept has several dimensions, one of which is that food should not be wasted. In a world when many people go hungry, Hindus and Hindu spiritual gurus frequently preach this ideology. Hinduism also says that the human body is an incarnation of God. As a result, it is our responsibility to look after our bodies and ensure that the food we eat is clean, healthy, sanctified, and sufficient. To ensure that food is always clean, wholesome, and sufficient, it is impossible to guarantee that there will never be any leftovers that are too much for one person, a family, or however many people are enjoying a meal. As a result, the urge to not waste food is a challenge that asks us to think and act creatively to find solutions to surplus situations.
In conclusion, each of the teachings mentioned above has proven that religious beliefs in Malaysia is against the wasting of food and provisions. In Islam, the practice of moderation is stressed towards important as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is said to despise those who waste. The Buddhists also held onto similar teachings where they practice eating just enough in order to avoid wastage. The Buddhists has also attempted to restructure society by referring to Buddhist economic in order to strive towards economic efficiency and equality, which involve reducing food wastage. Christianity believes that wasting food is equal to stealing from the tables of the poor and hungry, which is seen as a punishable sin. On the other hand, Hindus sees food as God and the human body as an incarnation of God that needs to be taken care of. They also acknowledge that there will be no guarantee that the food eaten will always be consumed or finished, and take it as a task for their believer to use their creativity in finding a solution to food wastage. One of the recommended actions in Hinduism in overcoming leftover is to feed it to the lowest caste, which are the household animals or cattle.